Oh boy, if you saw the title, then you bet you're in for a video full of me screaming about one thing and one thing only. And just a heads up, guys, I'm about to scream, aliens, baby, let's go! Woo! I'm home alone, so I can yell as loud as I want. No one else is here working. Let's go, aliens! Now, initially, the idea of aliens invading Earth tomorrow seems like it'd be bad news all around, but that's just rude. Why do we just think it's bad? Are you guys really stereotyping aliens right now? Just assuming they're how Hollywood and the media always depicts them? What if they're sweethearts? I mean, we can't forget, guys, we're talking about aliens, not humans. It's important to remember, not everyone is as bad as we are. All jokes aside, the idea of aliens actually coming to Earth is both incredibly exciting and frightening. And that's exactly what we're covering today in LBQ as we ask, what if aliens invaded Earth tomorrow? If you like aliens as much as I do, smash that like button and let's get to exploring aliens! Now, over the years, there have been plenty of films, comics, video games, TV shows, and even songs that have depicted aliens in a negative light. Alien, War of the Worlds, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Men in Black, Star Trek, the Halo games, Mass Effect, I mean, the list goes on and on. However, those are your typical slimy, harmful aliens, I guess we'll say. Technically, some superheroes are also considered alien, for example, Superman. Of course, we could also look at the friendly bicycle riding, sort of, it's like in the basket more so, but it's fine. Alien featured in Steven Spielberg's classic, E.T. Definitely not comparable to the likes of the aliens from the movie with the same name. So as you can see, there are plenty of different types of aliens out there, and to assume that if they came to Earth tomorrow, we'd be doomed, isn't necessarily the case. With that being said, given that the title does say invade, well, odds are they wouldn't come in peace. At least not at first. The second anything would try to invade our planet, I think it's safe to say we'd be up in arms. No pun intended there. America, baby! The greatest country in the world! Now, we could go down the obvious route here where these aliens invade Earth, use technologies that we didn't even imagine were possible, and they simply destroy everyone and everything. But that's not fun. I mean, we're gonna do it anyways, but I won't enjoy it. If you've seen movies involving aliens, such as War of the Worlds or even the movie Alien, then you know that sometimes these things are pretty much impossible to stop. They have the flying saucers, the laser guns, the armored skin, or whatever other alien attributes they've been seen with in the various movies I mentioned before. At the end of the day, if we were invaded by a species of aliens that were more advanced than us in numerous ways, odds are we really wouldn't be able to put up much of a fighting chance. And given that they would be invading Earth, we'd also need to keep in mind that any damage done during this invasion, or war, if that's even what it would be, would ultimately end up affecting us even more, as we potentially destroy cities, maybe even countries, as we try to fend off the alien invasion. All in all, it'd be a pretty bad time. It's not like we'd be able to just shoot nukes up into the sky to scare these things off, because again, we'd have to deal with the aftermath of all of that. Not to say that we wouldn't stand a fighting chance, but I mean, in this case, odds are slim to none. However, that's just one angle we could take. Maybe aliens invade Earth and aren't necessarily coming to destroy things. We know NASA is currently exploring Mars, and technically speaking, when we started putting our technology on the planet, well, I guess we were invading it, right? It's not like we were welcomed with open arms. We kind of just said, yeah, let's go check it out. So who's to say that the aliens don't do the same with Earth? Maybe they travel through galaxies or solar systems, exploring each planet for whatever it is they're looking for. Intelligent life, maybe? Natural resources? Who knows? Who knows what the purpose could be? But it doesn't necessarily mean they'd be aggressive and would destroy everything just because they can. Of course, this can lead to a few other potential outcomes. For starters, let's go with the angle that they do truly come in peace, and rather than try to take over, they're genuinely just curious beings. Much like us, they found a planet which was foreign to them and wanted to see what was going on there. So let's say a handful of them came to Earth, started exploring, and then a human saw them, freaked out, posted it on social media, obviously, and everyone started to question whether it was real or not. At some point, we'd obviously try to track these things down and maybe capture them. Whether that means it's local law enforcement or the military, depending on where exactly they would be discovered, could potentially lead to how things play out from here. In some parts of the world, there's the shoot first, ask questions later mentality. While in other parts, well, it's the opposite. Which means there is a possibility we stumble upon the aliens and try to talk with them. Understand them, either through verbal communication or maybe even body language. For all we know, these things could have technologies that understand all forms of language and translate them so we could actually communicate with each other. I mean, really the possibilities for their technologies are endless. We don't truly know what aliens are actually capable of, so there really is no right or wrong here, as crazy as it all may seem. That being said, again, if the aliens stumble upon an area where the mentality is kill or be killed, well, that could also be an issue. Let's say we try shooting the aliens with guns. It may hurt them, or it may not. And it may lead to them retaliating and attacking us, or again, it may not. Now, I'm going to say if, for example, 3 alien spacecrafts landed and 6 aliens started to walk around, people would freak out. And if someone were to start shooting at them, odds are the aliens would just eliminate the threat, or in this case, the person attempting to attack them. This could lead to a bad first impression, where the aliens then decide to completely take over and either enslave the human race or just destroy everything, assuming we are of no use to them. Or maybe they would just leave us alone, because again, if the Earth and humans are of no use, why would they waste their time and technology, resources, destroying things when they can continue on their journey doing whatever it is they're doing in the first place? Now, regardless if they come in peace or not, there are a handful of other factors that would simply change life as we know it. For the sake of this example, let's say even one alien comes, lands on Earth, and then just leaves. Doesn't destroy things, maybe interacts with a few humans and we have video evidence of it, and then poof, the thing just disappears. Well, aside from the extreme panic and fear that would likely ensue, we'd have confirmation that aliens do exist. So that song by Blink-182, Aliens Exist, it would probably be like our theme song from this point on, you know what I mean? Like the national anthem for the world. I like Blink-182. And naturally, I feel a lot more funding would go into space exploration, as we likely want to find out more about our alien visitor. This would change the course of the future, as we probably wouldn't be as focused on other pressing issues, for example climate change. Yet still, it seems even if the aliens did come in peace, they'd still be coming from an unknown area. Whether it be another universe or planet, it doesn't really matter, they'd be foreign to Earth. And that means it's also quite possible they would bring foreign bacteria to Earth, which could contaminate things. You get what I'm saying? Disease. The aliens, regardless of their reason for coming, could bring diseases to Earth, and this is just yet another thing that we'd have to deal with. As you can see, the idea of an alien invasion is actually incredibly complex. A lot of these films make it appear as if it goes one of two ways. They come and attack, we fight back and either win or lose. Or they come in peace and we coexist. But as I mentioned before, regardless of their reason for coming, it's possible they bring diseases with them. We'd spend a lot of money trying to further explore what happened, and if there are other aliens out there in the universe. Unfortunately, if they did come with the intentions of trying to take over or being the aggressor, I really don't see us putting up much of a fighting chance under the assumption they are capable of using technologies and weapons we couldn't even think of in our wildest dreams. On the flip side, however, if they did come just to discover, and of course, best case scenario, we would learn to coexist, then who knows how much faster the human race would be able to advance in more ways than one. Maybe the aliens would take some of us to their planet or planets to explore different ways of living. We can help each other with technologies and even space travel, assuming they know things that we don't, and vice versa. It may seem a little far-fetched, but I mean, we're talking about an alien invasion here, guys. You can't tell me what's right or wrong here. There's no fact checking, there's no, it is what it is. Wildest imagination here, guys. And you could be right too, saying I'm an idiot. We really don't know. That's why this video is so fun. The last thing I will say to wrap all of this up is the potential of us starting a new species or race altogether. All I'm gonna say is people are sick, man, and you bet there would be at least one or two people, probably men, who would be attracted to their alien counterparts. Who's to say an alien and human don't, do the deed, have a spicy time if you get what I'm saying, and then create an alien-human hybrid which would inevitably start an entire new category of aliens and humans. I'm not sure if they'd be their own species, given that it would depend if it'd even be possible for a human and alien to have an offspring, but again, we don't know anything about aliens, so this hypothetical could go either way. Maybe that'd be a good movie premise. Aliens come to invade Earth, a human and an alien do it, have a child, and the two sides need to coexist simply for the sake of the human-alien baby. It'd be a little silly, but nowadays it seems Hollywood will greenlight anything. All in all, an alien invasion doesn't always mean bad things. Although it seems regardless of the reasoning for coming to Earth, some things such as potential new diseases, as well as proof in general that aliens exist, would be inevitable, it doesn't necessarily mean the world and human race would come to an end. And if I have to be the one who fathers this human-alien baby thing, child I guess I'll call it, I mean, I'll do it. Aliens, baby! I'm excited. I'm not attracted to aliens, but I really don't know what an alien looks like, so maybe I am attracted to them. I don't know. Like, there's some that I've seen, like, in Guardians of the Galaxy? What's her name? Solanda or something? No, that's not her name. Zoe. Her first name's Zoe. Regardless, good-looking alien.
Renowned scientist Stephen Hawking has warned that the human race could be devastated if aliens learn of our existence and came to Earth. But why would they want to come here in the first place? There are several reasons why an advanced alien race would want to invade Earth. Maybe aliens want our DNA. They could want to abduct us and perform experiments on us. The idea of an alien-human hybrid has been the subject of many books and films. Not to mention, there are many who claim to be genetically engineered alien-human hybrids, and also those who have claimed that they have been abducted by aliens and impregnated by them. Why would aliens want to mate with us? Some say it's to help us advance as a species, or maybe it's something far more sinister. It is also known that there are certain sections of the human genome that scientists don't know the function of. Maybe those genes might have value to a different species if they were transplanted into their DNA. Perhaps Earth has a resource that extraterrestrials are running out of closer to home. Maybe they would come here to harvest some sort of precious metal that's harder to find elsewhere in the universe. Something like scandium is used to make aerospace components. It could be rare enough that aliens might want to travel here to get it. Or perhaps humans themselves are the resource and aliens just want to eat us. Maybe extraterrestrials could want to domesticate us or make us into slaves. History has shown that humans are hard workers. Who's to say that an alien race wouldn't want us as their slaves? If extraterrestrials came to Earth, they might want to make it a suitable habitat, considering that they came from a different place. They would either completely exterminate Earth's natives or enslave them. Aliens could also feel threatened by humans. We might not be able to compete with an alien race right now, but eventually, humans might develop into an advanced civilization that could prove to be a match for aliens. And maybe the most concerning reason of all, maybe aliens want to conquer Earth purely for their own amusement. They might look at humans the way we look at insects, but instead of a magnifying glass, they would have interstellar weapons. So, hypothetically speaking, if aliens had a reason to invade Earth, what would become of us? We would have no choice but to surrender and hope that the invaders would treat us kindly. There's no way humans, with all our weapons and advanced technologies, would stand a chance at winning against an alien invasion. But in the event that we surrendered and the extraterrestrials chose to wreak havoc on us, we would be pretty much screwed. Aliens would likely attack the world's largest cities. There would be mass chaos, and the fact is, many of us are unprepared for the event of an apocalypse. But there are real organizations with actual protocols in place that outline the government's response to an alien invasion. Government officials and the elite would be relocated to places like Mount Weather, located in Virginia. It was constructed during the Eisenhower administration and was originally designed to protect the president in the event of a nuclear attack. Mount Weather is a facility with an underground network of tunnels, its own water filtration system, and enough food to last several months. For the rest of us though, things would be tough. We would all try to avoid being abducted. Many humans would hide in fallout shelters or basements. Some would travel to remote areas or islands in an attempt to flee the chaos. In films, aliens come to Earth for one of two main reasons. They come here for Earth's resources, or they come here to abduct us and use us for experimentation. But would aliens really single out Earth, travel across space-time, and come to our planet for our resources? It is becoming more and more apparent that Earth-like planets are not uncommon. Scientists estimate that around 30% of stars that are similar to our Sun have Earth-like planets. Plus, our planet is not necessarily the most desirable anymore. Deforestation and pollution are to blame for that. If there were an alien civilization that was advanced enough to travel across the cosmos, they would probably pick a planet that's not already drained of resources. Plus, who's to say that alien invaders would be unkind to humans? No one knows exactly what aliens are like, so how do we know that they would be hostile? We don't. So, what if aliens and humans became allies? Well, that sounds like a topic for another Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Charlotte Dobre for LBQ. Don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more answers. How would we stop an alien invasion? Let's face it, if aliens came to Earth and they were hostile, we would be pretty much screwed, at least at the beginning. They could come here and treat us like nothing more than insects, destroying our cities and abducting us by the thousands. But there are several ways in which we could gain back control, and some of them might surprise you. The idea that aliens might invade Earth someday is a lot more plausible than people think. Just because we haven't found aliens yet, that doesn't mean they don't exist. Our galaxy is supposed to hold 300 billion stars and 100 billion planets. Probability dictates that a large chunk of those planets have to be able to support life, and some of those life forms could be intelligent. As renowned scientist Stephen Hawking warns, the best way to stop an alien invasion is to prevent it from happening in the first place. He was quoted saying, "If aliens visit us, the outcome could be much like when Columbus landed in America, which didn't turn out well for the Native Americans. Such advanced aliens would perhaps become nomads, looking to conquer and colonize whatever planets they can reach." So, the solution? Don't let the aliens know we're here. Stephen Hawking plans to search for intelligent life through the Breakthrough Listen initiative, without broadcasting signals from Earth. If aliens don't know we're here, they won't want to conquer us, right? Okay, so what if we all ignore Stephen Hawking's warnings and we send out a message which is picked up by aliens, who then decide they're going to come to Earth and invade? Then what? Aliens could also already know we're here. They could be plotting an invasion as we speak. If an invasion happens, our first option is to engage in a full-on war with the aliens. Who knows what tactics the aliens would employ, but one thing's for certain, if they have the capability to travel across the cosmos, aliens would have technology far superior than us Earthlings. There's one thing we could do to fight back, and that is bomb the crap out of them, provided they don't have a way to disable our communication satellites or electronic systems. It is likely that aliens would first go for our major population centers. Every nation on Earth would need to band together to fight off the invasion. Yes, aliens are technologically advanced, but so are we, and we might stand a fighting chance. If we were forced to fight a war with an alien race, it would not be a short war. It would take a long time for aliens to completely control every inch of our planet. It might get to the point where we are fighting a guerrilla war, where resistance groups would would keep fighting back against the aliens. We could also bide our time and find a way to use their own weapons against them. Eventually, aliens might feel like an Earth invasion is not worth all the trouble, and they would leave. If all of this fails, there is one option that is simple, yet effective. All we have to do is sneeze and wait. Likely, the most effective method of fighting back against an alien invasion is simply to sneeze on them. Here's what I mean by that. Aliens would not have immunity to our diseases on Earth. They would have developed an entirely different immune system, and the germs we have here on Earth might be enough to kill them off, or at least make them leave. Perhaps biochemical weapons would be effective, where we would unleash a deadly Earth disease. The problem with that is, we would have to be careful not to infect ourselves in the process. Hopefully aliens do not use a pathogen of their own and unleash it on our planet. They could gain control of our Earth without even firing a shot. Our scientists would then have to remain immune and create a vaccination. Even so, pockets of humans who are not infected would survive. Humans are stubborn creatures. An alien invasion does not mean the end of the human race. It would just mean we would have to fight back, in one way or another. I'm Charlotte Dobre for Life's Biggest Questions. Don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more answers. What if the Earth was under attack? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that questions the impossible. I'm Charlotte Dobre, and if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe for more daily questions. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video where we respond to some of your comments. If there are any government procedures for an alien invasion, the general public doesn't know about them, and I don't think they ever will, until it actually happens. I would imagine if the Earth were under attack, the events would unfold as follows. First, world leaders would take to airways, social media, and television for a special address. Leaders would instruct the masses to seek shelter, somewhere where they could listen to further developments. You'd probably get an alert on your mobile phone. Sirens would be heard in the streets. People would mark themselves as safe on Facebook. Safe for now. While the general populace was hiding out, world leaders and their highest up military officers would create a plan. They would attempt to figure out how dire the situation is, how many alien ships circle our planet. They would likely correspond with the astronauts on the ISS for a better vantage point, if the aliens haven't killed them yet. Then there would be attempts to communicate with the invading alien race. The world's most notable experts on language, linguistics, biology, and military combat would be brought in. Seeing as this is an alien race we're dealing with, they probably use a completely different way of communicating, so the experts would suggest using pictures. These pictures would be shown on huge screens, or drawn into the landscape so they're visible from space. These messages would attempt to be non-aggressive, stating in some way that we are carbon-based life forms and that we intend to be peaceful. Maybe these aliens would respond in some way by broadcasting pictures of their own, using technology that's completely incomprehensible to us. But more than likely, the invaders wouldn't respond. In this case, we would be using the best telescopes on Earth to examine their ships and weaponry. Maybe there are some weaknesses that we could take advantage of. Essentially, we would try to determine if there was any chance we could beat this invading alien race. While this is happening, leaders are corresponding with each other, working together to point all available and capable weaponry at the alien ships circling our planet. It's clear that we would need all the countries to pitch in and join forces to deal with the impending attack. The wealthy and well-connected would be sent to secret underground shelters, while working class people are left to fend for themselves. It can be assumed that many would go to remote areas, away from cities. It would be less likely that these remote areas, like in the mountains or forests, are less likely to be affected by an alien attack. Highways to these remote areas would be packed full of cars. It would be a full-on traffic jam. The shelves of grocery stores would be raided until there was no food left. The question remains, would we wait for these aliens to strike first, or would we fire first? If we fire first, then we run the risk of a full-fledged attack. Who knows what kind of capabilities these advanced invaders have? Maybe they could vaporize our entire planet with one shot. I would imagine, though it would mean inevitable casualties, we would wait to see if the aliens strike us first, and then take that opportunity to strike back. If this happens, entire cities would be wiped off the planet in a matter of seconds. Then there's the possibility that we would have to negotiate with the invaders. The lives of 7.5 billion people would surely be more important, right? Maybe not. Of course, the general public wouldn't have any idea what the conditions of these negotiations would be. Would we surrender and allow the aliens to take our resources, or are humans the resources the aliens wish to take? Only time will tell. One thing is for certain, on Earth there would be complete and utter chaos. It would be every man for himself, as homes are looted for food and valuables, pharmacies and hospitals are looted for drugs and medical supplies. It is extremely difficult to imagine what would happen if the Earth were under attack, because of course it's never happened before. It is assumed that there is a plan in place for dealing with an alien invasion, but of course it's classified. And it's also very, very unlikely that it would ever happen. But we hope that you enjoyed imagining what would happen if it did. Stephen Hawking once warned of the dangers of trying to make contact with alien life, because he said that it could mean the total annihilation of life on Earth. Stephen Hawking was a very brilliant man, rest his soul. But is he right? If contact was made with aliens and they decided to visit us, would that really be a bad thing? Well, I suppose it depends on what these alien beings want from us. Of course, if they want to harvest our resources and are willing to take them by force, we would almost certainly succumb. If an alien race was advanced enough to make it here across the cosmos, they most definitely possess the technology to annihilate life on Earth. But maybe, just maybe, aliens are just as curious about us as we are about them. When aliens arrive, it will be the single most groundbreaking moment in the history of humankind. In the history of our planet even. Contact with aliens will send the world into a complete meltdown. It will be met with a mixture of feelings, from fear to wonder to excitement. When aliens arrive, it will cement the fact that we are not alone. According to psychology professor Michael Vernum at Arizona State University, we would probably welcome the idea of aliens with open arms. In case you're wondering, if aliens actually made contact with us, we would most certainly know about it. The International Academy of Astronautics has a set of protocols in place for the people who are involved in the search for extraterrestrial life. The protocols dictate that if anyone finds a signal, that person has to make the world aware, but they also shouldn't respond to this signal. The awkward thing is, these protocols are simply guidelines. They aren't actual rules. Nothing bad would happen to them if someone did so happen to respond to a signal from an alien race, so there's nothing really to stop someone from doing it other than their own fear. Furthermore, if the entire world was notified that someone had in fact made contact with aliens, someone, if not many people, would most definitely make it their mission to respond to that signal. I mean, this is aliens we're talking about. This ain't an ex dropping a "you up" text at 2 in the morning. When an alien calls, you answer. Then there's the question of how long it would take for aliens to actually get to Earth. At first, humans would be sent into a frenzy. Everyone's setting up homemade radio towers in an effort to send a message to these extraterrestrial beings. But let's not forget that it takes years, if not decades, for messages to travel across the cosmos. At least, that's how long it takes with the technology we currently have. I'll give you an example. The closest potentially habitable planet outside our solar system is Proxima b. It's 4.2 light years away. But even at that short distance, it would take 4.2 years to receive a message from Proxima b, and the same amount of time to send one back. That is a heck of a long time to wait for a message. That is like ghosting territory. Once aliens receive our message, it would take years, decades for them to reach Earth. Of course, I should consider the fact that aliens probably have advanced technology that will allow them to travel across the universe much faster than we are currently capable of. But even so, these aliens still have to find Earth and reach us, which would take a long time. Then the day finally arrives. Aliens are here. By the time aliens get here, the contact someone made with aliens was decades before. Most will have grown old, but we will also likely be far more equipped to deal with such a process. Presidents will have come and gone, younger generations will have grown up with the idea that extraterrestrials may one day come to our neck of the cosmos. There are currently no protocols that we know of for what will happen when aliens get here. That will most certainly change if we become certain that aliens do in fact exist. World governments would have spent billions on defense and technology to prepare for their arrival. But still, even if aliens get here with their fancy ships, we would welcome them. It might be a bit difficult to communicate with them at first, but as I said, scientists will have had years to prepare for their arrival. Some method of effective communication will have been set up, and with it we will converse with these aliens, maybe through pictures or gestures. It's difficult to say if these aliens will just be visitors or if they will stay here. I mean, what's not to like about our big beautiful blue planet? My guess is they will probably stay and live among us. Maybe they will help us with the advancement of our technology. They could teach us how to fix our damaged environment, teach us how to harness the power of our sun that will enable us to advance our space travel. They could teach us things like telepathy, teleportation, how to harness the power of black holes. But then, some people might not be so welcoming toward these aliens. Humans are often unwelcoming even when it comes to members of our own race. Imagine how some people would behave if advanced extraterrestrials arrived. Maybe some humans would take it upon themselves to alienate these aliens and try and send them packing. There are some scientists that will probably kidnap aliens and essentially make them lab rats, testing on them and researching them to figure out how they became so advanced, and use them for their own personal gain. That's of course a grim way of looking at it, but then it's very difficult to imagine what would happen if aliens arrive, when they arrive. It hasn't happened. Yet. But now I open up the question to you, dear subscribers. What do you think will happen when aliens arrive? How will humans react? Will it be with open arms, or will we be hostile? Let me know down there in the comments.